to Cover My Ass, where baffling books are reviewed but not read by yours truly. My name is Kaki.
And I'm Kay, and remember, we only judge a book by its cover.
And we find ourselves once more amid the towering stacks of your library. I've moved some shelves around to create a bit of a paddock for my little herd of hebdromedaries.
Have they been, multiplying, or...?
I wanted to get a second opinion on that, because I thought so, but, how?
They fission? Is that one?
Oh,
yeah,
like
a
zygotic...
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm counting 52 bumps, it's not 52? A multiple of 7.
Oh, okay, so maybe the juveniles have fewer humps.
I think they're, evolving more humps, and then by the time they have 14, they split up into 2 creatures. Maybe.
Oh, is that what's going on?
Because that one's got 9.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It sort of looks like a side profile of Abraham Lincoln on with his moustache shaved. You see what I mean?
Oh.
If you look at the side, hey, maybe this is a fun game for an audio production. I'm just realizing. What if we try and find silly shapes in the silhouettes of these wonderful animals?
You mean like you do with clouds?
With what?
Like you do with clouds.
What are clouds? It's been so long.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Yes, I'm just being over-dramatic. It's okay.
Wait, you're not raccoons again, are you?
Well, no, here.
Okay,
okay. So
yes.
Loosening a few buttons for the readers at home. That's how you check whether someone's raccoon.
There's no beady eyes peeking out between your...
Between your 4th and 5th shirt button.
That's the one, yeah.
That's correct. I do miss Tristan. They were good company, though.
They were very nice. When they weren't being sneaky. But yes, I guess that's raccoon for you, yes.
And, the library is immaculate. As ever.
I agree. They do a good job. It's worth every penny they take from my bank account. I was going to say pay them. It's not technically paying, since they just help themselves
no real agreement there.
Well.
Oh, look, that one sort of looks like Tristan. If you imagine the three of them sort of tied together back to back and wrapped in a sackcloth, and they're trying to...
Oh, yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, they kind of like booking out. Is that... No, that can't be the case.
Oh, let's hope not.
No, that would be bad.
That's one of the faster hebdromedaries. They are not fast, but...
They did do a good job trying to buck you off the other day.
Yeah.
I see you've got a few extra bruises.
My little tweed romper does not quite cover the forearms and calves. So, yeah.
Neither the elbows nor the knees.
It's a learning process. And I think I'm really getting the hang of it. And I also think that these hebdromedaries seem to be enjoying it.
What are you hoping to achieve by keeping them penned in like this and herding them around?
Okay, just between the two of us, I've been trying to work that out
for
a while. But that's something that I sort of struggle with just about everything that I do.
Right.
So I think it's mostly staving off crippling insanity from being in a mysterious library.
You don't want to be cripplingly insane. That's not a good place to be.
I don't want to. So I'll just be a hebdromedary herder for a while, and then I'll get back to
junior librarianating. You were
I was looking for the hallowed breeding grounds of the library actor. It's strange how some information just seems to ease out of one's brain when one spends some time in the library.
Archives are for.
Now, I recall that was considered one of the side effects of certain types of ink. I believe the red ink.
Well, you haven't been around ink in any while. There's plenty of ink in all the books, but you haven't been doing your penmanship again, have you?
No. I've brought just the regular black inkwell that you said was safe. And I've been using that to write in my little my journal about the miraculous biosphere of your library. There's a limited number of entries so far.
Well,
but the one on hebdromedaries is quite thorough. And I think
so let me have a look here. It says blobby and slow and yet difficult to ride.
Difficult, but not impossible. I'll add that as a footnote.
Ah, yes.
But also, not quite a lot of points to it, because you are not.
They're blobs, not points.
You are not faster when riding a hebdromedary, nor is it more comfortable than when you're walking. You don't. They're not really good as beasts of burden, since the lumps move.
Yeah, I guess they're more Boba than Kiki.
Oh yes, very good for the wow. We actually can't get into that. This is an audio medium. I have no way to explain the Boba Kiki phenomenon to
I suppose not.
Our listeners. But maybe on another podcast with a more visual component even than ours, which I guess brings us to the cover of today's book. Because if you look down at your podcasting device now, you should be seeing the cover of today's book. And otherwise, you can check the show notes for an image and a link, or you can check covermyasscast.com, where you'll find episode 62 about Better to Beg Forgiveness by Michael Z. Williamson.
Yes, the sequel to Rules of Engagement. On their 12.5th anniversary, all is not well in the royal bedchambers. Queen Bacheloretta is on Second Love and King Pity is on Grindr, foolishly trusting their inept marriage counsellor to jiggle the need for galactic peace, while the mismatched pair of royals desperately try to get some while the getting's good. The galaxy slides towards disaster and war until rockstar wedding planner Susan Black is summoned from retirement to shake things up.
And just to be clear, it says to juggle the need for galactic peace while the mismatch. And I do appreciate it better. It's better if they jiggle the need for galactic peace. Yeah, Susan Black is back.
Yes, we have the cover. And
there's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on.
So you have the author and the title, and then you have an old, bespectacled gentleman gazing out worriedly from a nuclear holocaust sky. There's a dropship.
Just dropped off what I can only assume is Miss Black's cracked team of wedding...
the Mutuals.
The Mutuals. It beats the Nupitals.
The what?
The Nupitals.
What are those?
Nupitals. The wedding night. Isn't that the Nupitals?
The Nupitals?
Nuptials.
Nuptials.
Right. The nuptials,
yes.
not the Nupitals.
No, the pre-nuptial contact.
Yes, well.
I wonder if that means something.
Yes, and in the front, I think that's a scene from the Death Valley Desert Rally that we are going to later on in the book.
Yes. Part of the X-Purge.
Yes.
One of the horrifically violent consequences of this rocky marriage that was supposed to stabilize several planetary systems. But after 12.5 years of childless marriage, has not quite had the conventional success that their antecedents were hoping for.
Right, the houses are still linked, but yes, the lack of an heir seems to be a bit of a bone of contention, with accusations flying back and forth between the citizens of the various planets about what the reason is for this empty nursery. Is one of them infertile? Is the other one infertile? Is it are they not that into each other? Blessed by the gods or whatever it is? Always a bit of a problem when this happens in a monarchy.
Even in a spacefaring one, and we see the early spasms of what will probably turn out to be some rather brutal succession wars, where close next-in-line candidates are under extra guard and under threat of assassination by the other side. Because if this marriage falls apart, then those two houses will be ruled by a member of one of the other or one of either of them.
And that's going to be unacceptable for either one or the other.
Exactly, and so each of them are trying to off those who are higher on the line of succession.
It becomes almost a Final Destination-esque type scenes that we get here and there with our rather elaborate
that's true.
schemes and mechanisms designed to try and get oneself higher up in the royal line of succession. Is that the word?
Yes, so that you become the heir. What was it? So there's the heir apparent, and there's the heir presumptive. Do you know what that difference is?
No, I don't.
So the heir apparent is
next in line.
Is next in line for definite. So it would be like the oldest male child in traditional monarchies. Yeah. They were born first. Everything that they need to do to be first has already been done. They only have to live. Yeah. Heir presumptive is they are currently next in line, but a child may be born or a wedding may be forged, and then someone else might skip ahead of them.
Right. So Harry was the heir presumptive after...
Prince William was the heir apparent. Like he was... No, you're right. Charles is the heir apparent.
Yeah.
That's right.
So technically, if Charles had another kid, would he... William's...
No.
William's the oldest kid. Yeah, William's the oldest, of course. Yeah.
Prince William is Prince Charles's heir apparent.
Yeah. But Harry was the heir presumptive
of William. Yes, okay, that's right.
Until William had kids, and then
because son trumps brother, but in the absence of a son, then the brother would be... Yeah. Yes,
actually,
I think that's the case.
Does the UK still have male... No, it clearly doesn't have males only, but...
Well, I don't know. I know that in the Netherlands we don't. It's always first child,
it's now
so much
first
the monarchy
child,
matters in any way. I don't know if Britain actually got rid of the gender division, or whether it's the firstborn child or the firstborn male child that becomes the... I'm sure that there's huge tomes that have been filled with this kind of trivia, as is the case in the royal marriage of these still strangely unnamed planets. Or did you see anything in the footnotes that maybe? I
did. I think we might have
glossed over that.
Did we gloss over them? I think we.
What's that knocking?
Oh, that. I think one of the...
did Tristan lock themselves out again?
No, I think one of the hebdomaders is trying to force its way out of the enclosement.
God, that's never going to work. Loretta,
You're naming them?
Well, I'm trying to, but they turn... Like, you sort of recognize them by their shapes, but the humps move.
So, yeah.
And then there's more humps, and then there's four of them. So, do you know what I can do? I can start drawing things on them.
Do you think that'll work?
Care.
Yeah.
I mean, I can give it a shot. Here, hold on my collar and lower me in, and I'm going to try and paint the Dread Sigil Odegra onto this one. Yeah, that sort of looks like the M5 motorway?
M5 motorway, yeah,
that's
London.
right.
Yeah, that's the one.
Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, and I'll just tattoo the Dread Sigil Odegra onto the side of this magnificent creature.
And it just caught fire.
It did a bit.
Oh, hang on, let me get a fire extinguisher.
It's more of a smolder, but yes, do get the fire extinguisher.
It's like, I was going to say you might want to brand them because drawings might rub off, but it seems like this one's kind of burnt itself its way in there.
Okay, so that was a mistake. I'm so sorry about that, Loretta. Oh, there's two of them now. Okay, so that's how it happens.
It requires external symbols.
It's kind of... I mean, it's a lot grosser than I thought. There's just chunks left over on the ground. Oh, they're moving over the chunks, and they're gone.
Oh, this is kind of like, I mean, nature does its thing as nature does.
Maybe I'm done with the Hebdromedary paddock. If you'll help me later on, we'll just make a little gap in the paddock and
run.
Let them escape, and then we'll get onto the Threegle 3 and get out of here.
Make sure that we do, don't
I
don't want one of those things climbing up on top of me in the middle of the night when you just feel it oozing into bed with you.
I wonder if that's how King Pity and Prince Bacheloretta at this point are sort of thinking about each other.
They definitely don't want the other one oozing into bed with them.
So, the royal bedchamber has been expanded several times, and the royal bed is now 16 meters wide. So they're still sleeping together officially.
Yeah, they are not separated from table and bed.
No.
Although it does take a bit of a scooter. The wait staff has now bought themselves
segways. Yes, space segways.
And they're zooming across. Whereas in the meantime, his cousin Robert the Cuck has introduced the prince to Grinder, and he is so excited he can barely sit down.
Yes. He's the king at this point, isn't he? I mean,
yes. Sorry, he's become king. Yeah.
I did like that Robert the Cuck, who was such a thorn in their side during their courtship in Elizabeth Moon's book Rules of Engagement, which preceded this. They found it in their hearts to sort of embrace him, and he certainly became a confidant of King Pity, who has been sort of wanting for just male friendship.
Yeah.
And so when he's introduced to Grinder...
Yes, got his profile there, New Year, say me.
Exactly. Hoping to find some companionship that he can really share some experience with. So the first thing he's looking for is M for M, which is married for married, because he wants he wants to just hang out with other dudes with whom he can really relate, especially if they're in their profile say that they're hungry for buffalo wings, is what he infers it to me, because he's also a big fan of buffalo wings.
You might be thinking it's like a griller or something rather than Grinder, but it's
he's having immense fun with it. Like he's discovering all these acronyms, like NSA, which stands for no such acronym, and that's sort of a fun thing that you can put in your profile, and just to show that you like to have fun, you know.
What is it really?
No strings attached.
Oh, okay, yes. Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that one.
Oh, good on you! Aren't you a moral, upstanding citizen?
Oh yes, I don't think I've ever been on Grinder.
Okay, so it's.
I know what it is.
No, let me try and explain it to you now. It's a special sort. It's like a forum, except for people who are looking to. Oh no, okay, so
people?
Yeah, it's sort of like that side of Craigslist.
Yeah, which doesn't exist anymore.
But without all the spam.
Oh.
And more information structure, because you do have like categories of information that you have to varying degrees of sensibility. I mean, there's obviously a high emphasis on body types and sort of stereotypical roles that are not to everyone's benefit.
Okay.
But King Pity is rather innocent of all of this, like not completely understanding. What it means when he types in when he responds to someone who describes themselves as mask, which he thinks is so you like a bal masqué,
yes.
One of those royal, and he says I love balls, as he says, and so he thinks he's making tremendous friends, but it's we as a reader,
weird thing about like traveling and can you receive and all kinds of things.
I have a special receiving chamber.
Yes, this is like a lot of that goes on there.
Yeah. And in the meantime, Queen Bacheloretta, I mean, she has not given up her rather telling name. Is on second love on the advice of their otherwise rather inept marriage counselor, who's not very good for them. The marriage counselor's name is Ashley Madison.
Yes.
Whose solution to all of their problems tends to be, well, have you tried seeing other people? Have you tried giving up on this marriage?
Well, the problem she's having is like as she like sighs against Ashley at one point. The last time I found someone who was my type, I was donating blood. So
yeah. Which she says in front of King Pitty, which is obviously very, very hurtful.
Yeah.
But Ashley thinks it's a great joke and high fives her. Ashley is probably doing the worst job.
She is
anyone
doing,
can
yes,
do.
because she's like, you're always talking about the things that are different between you. It's like, can you maybe like say something that you both share?
Yeah,
and he goes like, yeah, neither of us give a blowjob.
Yes. Yeah, so... while I do recall in a previous episode, Kronos, by Charles L. Harness, episode 34, which was also about a bickering couple of planetary surveyors.
Oh, yes.
But there they find that they have in common their sort of desire to kill.
And still, they went on a bit of a spree on that planet, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, to the ruin of the galaxy. And unfortunately, like such an easy solution is not available here, because Ashley Madison is only like promoting the glories of the new relationship energy and how great that is, and you'll absolutely love it. You don't even have to get divorced these days anymore. You can just have a paramour, and it's
I mean
fine.
that is quite traditional in royal marriages. It's pretty much accepted.
Or a
That's several consorts, mistress, I don't know, consort.
Concubine, that's the one.
Concubine is different, not specifically related to marriages or something. You can be a concubine and not be. It's not like not something you have on the side.
Well, I'm thinking of Dune, where Cheney, the Fremen woman,
the royal concubine.
Yeah, exactly, because Paul Atreides has to marry Princess Irulan for political reasons, but his love and his progeny.
Isn't Paul himself the son? Isn't his mother a concubine as well?
Yes, that's correct. And he's still the ducal heir. She was the concubine to Duke Leto Atreides, but never his wife.
I guess you can still become an heir at that point. So, well, Prince Pithy, like he gets sick and tired of this Ashley Madison thing, and he decides to slap a hefty trade tariff on marriage counseling, and thereby, in doing so, he triggers a trade war between the two councils,
exacerbating the chaos in this planetary system. Because not only are the succession wars and the X-purges happening, where the former like romantic interests of the royal couple are being targeted for kidnapping and assassination, as are the next in lines, but now also an increasing like economic arms race of mutual sanctions by the governments of these two planets, which are not under the control of the vastly distracted royal couple.
They're just kind of like going along, and they do their meetings, but they blow off most of the staff, and they're just going like, oh well, whatever. And they're like,
actually, he did explicitly say that neither of them blow anyone off.
Well. Very good point. Poor choice of words on my side there.
Then at least they'd have something in common, wouldn't they?
But yes, no, I mean, Pitty is constantly, basically has his mobile phone glued to his hand and is constantly checking how many people are within a certain amount, a certain distance of him, which makes sure that there's a lot of people hanging around the perimeter of the castle once it turns out that, he's very close and he's close and now he's closer again. He hasn't quite caught on to the fact that it's actual physical proximity. So as he moves around the castle, then he will get closer to or further away from some of them, so he's a bit confused here and there.
Yes, because he just wants a friend, and he's seeing that all of these people are like emotionally withdrawing from him as he moves from place to place, and he just but then new people become interested, and
you get little encampments showing up along the outer perimeter of the castle.
Yeah, and some of the more ambitious like paramours are actually like taking little spaceships into space to nudge some of the GPS satellites closer and make themselves.
Yes. And there's a few bathhouses prop up in the vicinity of the castle.
It's very steamy. It is, especially for Bacheloretta. Like these are some hopeful, hungry for buffalo wings dudes clustering around King Pitty. But Queen Bacheloretta, like her side of the bed, which is very hard to see, and especially here from
16
King
meters
Pitty's
away,
side, with several fields of inertial buffering in between, and
south dampening fields, and
it's pretty busy over there. The seismic presence of numerous bodies is harder to conceal, even through the. I mean, he is a princess on it.
The rhythmic vibrations of the mattress,
He has slept better than he has in years when she has company over, but eventually all these troubles reach the ear of the secret hero of this book, as she was the secret hero of the Rules of Engagement in Better to Beg Forgiveness. Obviously, our hero, Susan Black, wedding planner extraordinaire, who has retired from the Wedding Gurus.
Yes.
That was her.
She rode her fame for a few years after the successful wedding and everything that came along with it. Milked the business for a few years, got the high and mighty, like married half of Hollywood.
Planet Hollywood.
Planet Hollywood.
Space
yes.
Hollywood.
It's Hollywood.
Maybe.
We could call it Space Wood, but that would bring it back into Prince Pitty's department again.
Wouldn't it? And she quickly realised, I mean, you're never going to beat the royal wedding, are you?
Oh, no. And it's just a matter
She's rolling in money, but...
She was building the business a little bit more, like get a few big names under her belt, and then she just sold off the business and went like,
what's in it for me anymore?
Yeah, exactly. And the Chamberlain decides, things have to work between the prince and the king and the queen at this point.
Yes.
I keep wanting to say prince and princess. But
well, that's how we know them.
Yeah,
from,
exactly. So it's
the rules of engagement.
I guess it's forgiven. I think he's the troubled man who is like staring off in the distance. Yeah,
the bespectacled gentleman. He's the one who
he's one who's been keeping the kingdoms together, as like trying to like run things and make sure that they seem to be done by the royal couple. He's gotten very good at forging their signatures.
Well, that's a vizier's job.
Well,
if ever
yes.
there was one. Or at least like moving the parchment under their quill
at the
in
right
a way
moment.
that...
A little bit like Radar in MASH, when he just goes like walks up to the colonel and goes like, "Here, sign these," and he'll just like sign, and occasionally slips in something that wasn't necessarily meant to be there. And
oh wow!
A little requisitioning form or something or the other, and he's
They're
the one
very lucky to have him.
They are, and he's like probably one of the people who's most hurt by the fact that they still don't have an heir
on whom he can dote as a beloved uncle. Something that I deeply sympathise with, because I think the title also refers to him, because he understands that he's breaking the confidence of the royal couple by reaching out to Susan Black and sending a ship to her Holiday Inn planet, where she's sitting under yet another atrium pool. Surrounded by putt-putt golf, just vibrating with discontent. But this is what she's told retirement is. Like, after you've done everything you do, this is your reward. So you just sit there and play fucking bridge.
Well, bridges can be a lot of fun.
It can totally be a lot of fun, but not when you're used to climbing into your power suit and drop shipping onto a planet to blast your way with your suicides made through. It just lost some of its life. Has lost some of its luster.
It's like when you don't have like a big, large caliber hand cannon, like a bolter or something. I think they call it in Warhammer.
Yes, that's right. And the sort of cyber tentacles
the wedding bolter. It's like for forging those strong bonds.
As soon as the Chamberlain Vizier, Major Domo. Zazu, I think his name was.
Is it?
Yeah, right.
Please don't sue us, Disney.
No, please, it's just the one. It's just two syllables. You can't sue us, Disney. So Zazu arrives, and before he even finishes speaking, like he gets a few words out. She's immediately right.
I accept.
Yep, I accept. She kicks over her chaise longue.
Yes.
There's her footlocker full of armor.
The golf balls out of her micro grenade launcher.
Yep. She immediately goes to the poly armory. And she starts assembling her crack team of the mutuals. Oh, it's a wonderful montage. You know how I love a montage.
Oh,
where she
yes.
goes to all of these.
It's almost like we're reading a Blake Whitecock book at this point.
That's right, because she's hopping from planet to planet, and she's interrupting like various trade negotiations and union wars and whatever else her crack team members are embroiled with now.
Yep, she just pulls them out and is like, "Have your second handle it. I need you."
We have several members, several couples in the team, strangely enough. We have the tiger guy and the horse chick, whom people probably know from various dating apps. Like this one is a dude who's hanging out with a tiger, or he's holding a baby tiger.
Yeah.
And there's the chick who's super into horses.
It's like the four horsemen of the wed-pocalypse.
Sure. That's one.
Can we improve on that?
I mean, 5 horsemen is an improvement.
But
is this like Liar's Dice?
I bid 6 horsemen. Like no,
6 horsemen. Okay,
we've got the horse.
6 elephant men.
No, the 5 horsemen. It's like the caterer, the florist, the
the DJ.
The Claytor de Flores, the DJ, the bartender, and upon a pale limousine, the driver.
Very good. They're flanked, as we see on the screen, by the gym bunnies.
Yeah.
They're really into their health regimen.
They're the ones who usually take care of the couple in the months leading up to the wedding to make sure that they will fit into their bodices and into their jackets, suitable for the rigors of combat that they're going to expect. I mean, marriage is a serious thing, and occasionally it leads to
it's serious
warfare.
Business.
Yeah.
The last couple to fill out the team are the himbo and the catfish.
So we're at 6 now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ish.
Yeah. The first thing that Miss Black does is get Zazu to announce the fact that the happy couple, especially happy couples, they're always referred to as the happy couple.
That's right.
Will be renewing their wedding vows.
Yeah.
Because it's like 12 and a half years, it's the bronze wedding, that's coming up, and there will be a renewal of wedding vows, and Miss Black is going to be arranging it all.
Yes.
She's being brought out of retirement to have
putting the band back together.
Yep, and that's where the Death Valley Desert Rally comes in, of course. That's like the traditional beginning of the... the traditional one is stealing the bride, which is a little bit hard because they're living in the same castle.
And also, she's a far better thief at this point. Did you get sort of a kleptomaniac vibe from her? Because you notice how...
There's a lot of it, yes, and especially when it comes to, like, pretty young boys. There's a lot of fruit being stolen there.
Yes,
I might have been mistaken in there.
Yeah, I don't know. She kept like spitting out these little stems. That,
yeah, exactly. Been tied into a knot. Oh God, how much chewing gum must she go through in a day to keep those muscles exercised?
Right? She does what she says on the tin. I mean, even at this point. So during the Death Valley Desert Rally,
I think that's the thing we see on the cover. It's the locals in the valley objecting against this kind of thing happening through their territory, because, like, I think it's breeding season for the rare desert lizard. Or something
it is
or the
very
other.
destructive, but not as destructive as the mutuals who blast them into submission.
It's a pity about the desert lizards, but yeah, I don't think they survive the subcritical nukes that are set off to make sure that there's a smooth pathway for the happy couple to move through.
Yeah, speaking of Atreides style, I do believe that Paul Atreides does indeed use the family atomics on the shield wall to...
I always love that, the family atomics. Yes, they were handed down from my grandfather. It's like...
I really liked all of that detail that was in this book. Like, I like a hard sci-fi that sort of really gets into the
But yeah, in this case, we're talking about little baseball-sized explosive devices, which, like, it's the grenade launcher that she was using in the mini golf putt-putt course.
Yes, that's right.
Which she had to shake the golf balls out of. And there's one. I mean, there's a scene in the book where one of the desert dwellers that we see here gets hit by one of those golf balls flying, which somehow still managed to get it to keep its way in the magazine rack, which is why he lost the Death Valley Desert Rally to Bacheloretta, which is, of course, like, by some people considered a bad omen, but it's not quite so. More of an advantage to her rather than a bad omen for the marriage.
Exactly. I mean, it's certainly, like, they seem to enjoy that they're relating to each other on a straight level playing field without all the strictures and expectations of royal marriage, because they do still like each other. They do still like having fun together and going on exciting races.
No more than this shows that they still have the spark.
And they just happen to also want some other things that that make them happy, and they love each other enough. Of course, he wants her to be happy. He wants her to have a great big bed. And in fact, when they realize this about each other, that he just wants some like male companionship, just some fellas,
some buddies to hang out with. Yeah, just a couple of fellas getting it on.
Yeah. And she builds him a pub. A royal pub where you can just go and hang out.
Yeah, I think it's pronounced spelled P-U-B-E though, so I'm not entirely sure where that comes from.
The E is silent.
Yeah, the pub. Yeah, it's like...
and he in turn realized that her tastes are a little bit more exotic, and she wants to go places with more people. And he gifts her with the Royal Relations ship, where it's a kind of a party.
It's kind of like a love boat
where she can. Yes, that's
got a sexy bald captain on the helm.
They thank profusely Susan Black and the surviving mutuals for helping them to understand this about each other, and they realize that she also could use some help. Because this shouldn't be her swan song.
Well, Zazu begs for forgiveness for setting them up.
Indeed, it's better to beg forgiveness, and Zazu pleading for forgiveness is instead giving their gratitude for wisely reaching out when they were unable to do so themselves.
Being a wise vizier and like doing what's best for the kingdom.
And they ask him to come up with a way to properly reward Susan Black, because I mean, okay, so she saved the royal wedding, and now what's in it for her? What's there for her to do? She's in the same situation where she was next. And Zazu has the brilliant idea. He returns her as the new owner of the Holiday Inn planet with the job to, hey, why don't you in the mutuals spice things up a bit? Clearly that putt-putt golf is more exciting when you have subcritical mini
There we go, yeah.
Yeah?
When everybody gets a hole in one, you see this little boom mushroom cloud going off in the distance.
Exactly. And you have Nerf bolters for the kids. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and turns out that Queen Bachelorette is pregnant, and I suspect one of the mutuals might have had something to do with that as well. But it's
which one? And a royal baby. Royal babies are they're like cocaine for these people. So
no difficult questions are asked.
No, because honestly, most of their critics were protesting at the Death Valley Desert Rally, and they got taken out by the subcritical bidding nuke. So it's a rather peaceful
collateral damage
kingdom now.
Yeah, they always have the protesters standing up with their little stupid signs and going hooray for our side.
Hey, as long as everyone's happy.
Yeah, well, that definitely, I think, is the case at the end of this book.
I certainly was. I'm so glad that we got to see Susan Black again. She's one of my favourite wedding planners.
She is, and I do like the power armor bit of it as well. Mean, they were, Williamson was definitely borrowing from Heinlein, but I don't care. I just like how
it's a little mech porn.
Yeah, the way the mutuals are, hopping over the terrain using their jetpacks and, firing the...
the jump jets.
Firing the Wyrack launchers with the nukes to pave the road and all that.
So exciting.
Sweeping away things with the flamethrowers and the plasma beams and everything. It's just I love a well-written scene of carnage like that.
Yes, exactly. So, then I probably don't need to ask how you're going to rate this book.
Oh, well, I was going to rate it, I don't know, out of 12.5.
Do you want to give it a 10 out of 12.5?
I'll give it an 10.5 out of 12.5.
That's awesome. I think that's even higher than we usually give. I certainly enjoyed it. Congratulations to Michael Z. Williamson for Better to Beg Forgiveness.
Doing an excellent sequel to Rules of Engagement.
By Elizabeth Moon, that's right.
That's the one.
Oh, and speaking of reviews, if you look down at your podcasting device, you should be maybe seeing an opportunity, leave a little review, or otherwise hop over on Twitter and just say hi. We're at Cover My Asscast on Twitter and covermyasscast@gmail.com. If you have a cover of a book that you'd like us to consider reviewing sometime, please do send it along and we'll check if it's anywhere on the towering stacks of Kay's library. But in the meantime, what do we have in store for our readers next week?
Next week's book is by Chuck Klosterman. It's called Sex, Drugs and Cocoa Puffs, a Low Culture Manifesto.
And that about covers it. Thank you for joining us at Cover My Ass, where baffling books are reviewed but not read by yours truly. My name is Kaki.
And I'm Kay. And remember, we only judge a book by its cover.
We should have sort of a little theme song. A theme song to end on. Theme song to end on.
Should we do it ourselves?